President Bola Tinubu made significant changes to the leadership of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited, NNPCL, proving the dismissal of Malam Bele Kyari, the long-serving group CEO, and Pius Akinyelure, as the chairman of the board. In addition, the entire board was dissolved in a move aimed at revitalizing the oil sector. President Tinubu appointed Bayo Julari, the former managing director of Shell, as the new group CEO of NNPCL. To discuss the impact of these changes and the future direction of the group under the new leadership, we're joined by energy consultant Lucky Ighoyota. It's good to have you with us, Lucky.
Thank you, Lee.
All right, so
good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So is the reshuffle long overdue and in line with current realities in Nigeria's energy sector? And what are your impressions on the peaks?
My impression and sentiments is very simple. Like the renowned professor of petroleum economics, respected Professor Wumi Ledari, we put it. The appointment of this new board is like a new wine in a brand new bottle. By that, it means we're having a set of competent professionals for the first time after a very long while that have been given the opportunity to run our energy sector. So it's a bright future for us as a country. The outlook expectedly should be green for our economy and the oil and gas sector in particular. The likes of Bashir, the new group managing director, he has been a champion in the oil and gas. He has the opportunity of heading the SNEPCO Deepwater stretch of Shell, and he did excellently well. I've been in the sector for at least 15 years now. Then you have the likes of Austin Avuru, who is from my state. He also started Seplat. Seplat is an energy company in Nigeria, as you know, and indigenous. And he actually marshaled the growing up of that company. And Seplat is doing pretty well today, providing employment and opportunities for Nigerians and even expatriates. So if you scroll through the other guys, including the chairman, they are all professionals. I hope that there will not be political intrusions, because in our country, everything's almost politicized these days. And what I expect and pray, given that we have an apolitical composition that is devoid of politicians, unlike what we've seen in the past years, I pray and hope that they're going to give their best, considering the energy situation around the world, taking into account of the energy trilemma, talking about energy security, energy equity, that is affordability and accessibility for everybody, and also environmental sustainability. Everybody's talking about greenhouse emission, climate change, and all that. So I expect the leadership of Bayo to drive our oil and gas sector, leading the NNPC now, taking the lead, because NNPC, as you know, have huge stakes in what the IOCs are doing in our country. Giving them a policy direction. NNPC should not just be there as the everyday civil service thing, collecting free money. They should be seen. They should be seen to be doing what Shell, Chevron, Total, all these IOCs, they should be competing. I'm happy with what I saw last week when they said they are now open for the stock exchange. They should liberalize NNPC, make NNPC public.
All right, before we go into all of that, because we are still going to expand the conversation to all of those areas, but I'd like to hear your thoughts on the ambitious targets that the federal government has set for this new board. They have said that Oil production should increase to 2 million barrels per day by 2027. Of course, some analysts will tell you that we even surpassed 2 million barrels per day in the early 60s and early 70s. But also 3 million barrels per day by 2030. How achievable are these, and what are some of the strategies you think they should put in place to achieve this?
Thank you very much, Bola. I think the president, in appointing these guys, was very deliberate. You know, given his background and what he's known for, you know, outside of politics, he's a tactical person. And giving them this, this charge, I think the strategy and things they should be doing is to take the gains, inherit the gains of what have been happening in the past, like this pipeline asset, this facility asset security thing that has been given to some private security company like the PN. It's only Pantita that everybody knows. But you know, PNIL or something. PNL, they're also involved. Pantita is involved. They should maintain this kind of things so that we can protect these assets and also jack up production. Outside of securing the asset, they should also be very sincere in their dealings. They should avoid personal interest. We should transit from this transactional governance to transformational governance, transformational leadership. We expect this 2 million barrels per day is doable, very doable. Even the target set for 2030, they are all doable. We have it. We have enormous reserve. Our reserve is huge, untapped even. The energy sector is wide. The world is looking for energy. In short, energy itself, petroleum or whatever, is one of the basic needs in the next 50 years. When we hear people talk of, we are transiting to clean energy, or we are transiting away from fossil fuel, it's just a creation of some set, probably from the West. Oil and gas will still be here with us for another 50, 200 years, 1,000 years to come. Because it is the main source of energy to drive technology, to drive industrialization. So the target is good, is doable. The president should support them, devoid of household rock influence. They should try to allow these guys to be professional in what they can do for their country. And they should put country first. Country first before your personal interest. Because if the country works, your personal interest is also embedded in the workability of things. The energy sector is huge. It's money spinning. Like, I read a book written by Bolaji Abdullahi, the former minister for sport under the Buhari regime. I think it was also something that, now, he wrote a book, The Platter of Gold, chronicling the Jonathan's years. He said, while he was writing the book, he had a conversation with his boss, the former Senate President, Senator Bukola Saraki. Senator Bukola went to see President Jonathan then. I was discussing the issue around the PIB, as it was then, before it later pulled through the National Assembly and becoming PI now. He said the president told him that, you know, this PIB thing is delaying. You know why it's delayed? He said, you know, this thing is very oily. They should delete that mindset. We need to have a mindset of purpose, sincerity of purpose. The energy sector is oily. NNPC is oily. In short, manning NNPC as a CEO, you are even richer than many states. All right, Lucky,
if I may come in, you know, there's been an issue that's been overlooked for some time now. So are we to expect a more transparent NNPC under this new, board with regards to its financing and budget? That has been in the public eye for some time now. You know, you'd expect a lot of auditing, but NNPC over time has been a little bit quiet on that. So are we to expect more transparency in that direction? How you're running your operations and the proceeds we're getting from the oil that the transactions, the public needs to know.
Transparency is very key in every business, even your business that you do as a journalist, your company, your organization. Transparency is key. It's an integral part of corporate governance. You understand? Even public service. I know that these guys there, we do their best to be transparent. This challenge still remains the Nigerian syndrome. Now, even in the oil and gas, there are a lot of checks in this production and even the export. There's a program they call Nigeria Export Supervision Scheme that has been handled by the pre-shipment companies, where they try to represent the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry and the CBN in the oil and gas terminals. Now, because of checkmating mismatch and understatement of reportage from crude oil export, I'm not too sure they do production now. Now, what will happen in terms talking about transparency? We have the Freedom of Information bill that has been passed. You journalists, you guys have to put these guys in check. That's why you guys are the fourth estate of the realm. Now we have social media nowadays. Everything, everybody's a broadcaster or a journalist or a reporter by fiat, because these days everybody can report. Nigerians working in NNPC should be reporting what is happening there. We can access any information. If these guys know that they are under check, I believe they will not do anything untoward the interest of our country. Because as we speak today, we all know that it is the petroleum sector, that is the NNPC, that drives our economy. 70% of our budget.
Yes, it's been a monolithic economy.
Yeah, but on that note, because we have to go, I'd just like to ask you one final question, because I recall that in January when Mele Kyari clocked 60, there were, rumors and talks out there about his retirement, because, in civil service, when you clock 60 or 35 years in service, you're supposed to retire.
Sure.
Now, Bayo Ojulari is 59. What does that say about his tenure?
Okay. If you ask me that, I can't actually give you an express answer. But one thing I know, Bayo is going to do a good job. And I expect him to also concentrate also on climate issues. That is why what these guys are doing, these security people, these Tantita guys are doing is very key. You should maintain those kind of things so that we safeguard the Niger Delta and the environment. For Bayo's age, I can't say. The president must have his own reason. Well, a privileged information that I don't know. But I wish them well.
All right.
Age is just a number. All I'm looking for is competence.
All right. On that note, Lucky Ighoyota, energy consultant, many thanks for your thoughts on the NNPC board reshuffle. It's good to have you with us.
Thank you so much.